Hey John, how's it going?
Good, Tron. Nice to
Good.
see you and good to be online with you.
Yeah, good to see you. We're talking today with John Bilton from Janus, and John, it's been great to have you at the unConference. I'm not sure how many times you've been with us there, but quite a few, and it's you've kind of become part of one of the club members. You know what I mean? It's been great. So,
Yeah, it's been a fun event. Number one, obviously, you get over to the islands in a unconference setting, and it's a little bit different. For me, it works great because the time zone difference back to the mainland, I can get everything done really, really early in the morning, and then I can hopefully enjoy some of the afternoon. But the intimacy of the event has been really what's key, is because you can spend uh, really quality time with quality people and have an intimate and open discussion that doesn't feel as rigid and as I'll call it. We've got to get through the presentations as
right.
rapidly and as quickly as we need to because we've got a deadline at 1 o'clock and we've got to do this, we've got to do that. It's got a much different feel than the traditional conferences, and I think that's why it's the unconference.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But and I think that spontaneous part's really good. I mean, I think every day this last time when we said, okay, we're done for the day, and then I left the room and came back later to clean up, half the people were still in there talking
Yeah.
about really interesting stuff. So that's a cool thing to see.
It is cool, and it caters to that kind of I'll call it off script talk with others about their experiences, what's going on with their sites, what's going on with their businesses, what they're seeing in their marketplaces, what's happening, at a large scale with national players and small players, and it's got that kind of flavor. So that's been really great, and it's been fun to talk about. Have an opportunity to present and talk about our products and what we do as a company, but it's also um, hearing from others about what they're doing and what they're liking and not liking, and that's valuable information.
Yeah, that's really good. And it's great having you there representing Janice's expertise because there's so many things Janus does to make life better and easier for self-storage people. And it's really, really pretty impressive. And it gives people a chance to kind of get a little deeper with, what all you do. Because I bet there's people who don't know half the things you do. They either know you for doors or they know you for no key, or maybe they know you for hallways, or maybe they think you just do everything in the US and don't realize that you're everywhere doing storage all over the place, learning all kinds of things. So maybe
Yeah,
maybe maybe talk to us a little bit about some of the things maybe folks don't know about Janice. I think that'd be interesting.
absolutely. So Janus has become and wants to be the vendor to self storage to the industry. And that's not an easy task because the industry has a lot of different elements. But Janus today, domestically, particularly in North America, is providing buildings both on the east and west coast. So we've got manufacturing west, manufacturing east. We're bending our own steel for horizontal and vertical building both. So
Mm-hmm.
single story drive up to up to 5 story buildings, and providing the building, the shell itself, the steel associated with that, the roofing. We've got our own decking line, so we do the decking now as well.
Nice.
And so that kind of turnkey ability, we build what today we term a smart building. So that building is, we put in the cable trays and runways for wire, so
Mm-hmm.
that if people are going to add Noki, which is another Janus product today or in the future, it's smart ready, as we call it, for that
Right. Right.
application. So that the smart lock side of things have grown dramatically, both domestically and internationally. Europe has been a high adopter of smart lock technology. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they always tend to be a little bit ahead of the U.S. on adopting technology. They were doing wireless credit card payments before we were. Nobody in Europe takes your credit card and walks away with it like they do in the U.S. still, and even Canada doesn't do that. So there's these different technology trends. So Noki's been very successful internationally, particularly in Western Europe. And then
Mhm.
we've got deployments in, as far south as Santiago, Chile, and
Yeah.
as far north as Edmonton, Canada. Edmonton is kind of the largest big city in North America. Otherwise, it's
Right.
gets pretty small. So
They start getting tiny after that,
they
don't they?
do. They do. So that's an exciting piece. And then, so
Yeah.
the whole electronic locking and access control technology has been a big piece. The buildings are a big piece. And then we have got our traditional business, the door and hallway components and pieces
Yeah.
that we've done for years. And then we've done, for the last 5 years, we've done what we term access control technologies, which, interestingly enough, include camera systems, traditional
Yeah.
camera systems on properties where we design and install those with our own division and group. And then we also, oftentimes, on occasion, we actually install other people's product. Uh,
Uh-huh.
if
Yeah.
they've not made a Noki choice, they've made a different choice, we'll actually do that work and spec and design and install those pieces as well. So some people get caught off guard with that. They're like, "Hey, this is not your product." We're like, "I know, but we're acting as the integrator. We'll do the install and the labor and the work and,
Yeah.
uh, and perform those functions for you." So pretty diverse organization today. We've got a lot of brands, and we
Yeah.
tend to keep those brands. And the commercial space is huge for us, has been for a lot of years, which is non-storage for the most part. It's
Right. Right.
it's it's loading docks and churches and service buildings and things like that with our rolling steel doors and
Mm-hmm.
all their different sizes and functions in that rolling steel space that we go into the commercial market with. And we oftentimes use dealers for that, and the dealers
Yeah.
do our installation work. And that's always been a very robust piece of business for us. And we've got 3 manufacturing facilities in the US for that, and distribution
Hmm.
facilities. And that's been a really nice piece. So Janus has kind of created this, all things doors in all
Yeah.
different shapes and sizes. And storage has always been our genesis. That's where we
Mm-hmm.
started. That's what that Mr. Curtis and Ramey Jackson today have continued that legacy. And
Yeah.
and we always want to be a supporter of the storage industry, what's happening. We tend to try to sponsor as many events as we can and be out there because ultimately our customers, it keeps us in business. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
sorry, that's a lot. That's a mouthful.
that is, but I mean, it makes perfectly good sense. I mean, your graduation from doors to everything that you need to install a door makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah. No, there was a time I was kind of wondering if you guys were gonna copyright or patent the sound of your doors because
We got a few.
that was
Yeah.
maybe you will. I don't know, but
We
that
got, we
was
got a
always the
few.
thing I loved walking through self storage places was hear the doors going up and down. I was like, oh, that sounds good.
I love
People
that.
coming and going.
I have to talk to our legal team and see if we can put that together because we've got a few patents out there and we do our best to protect them. And
Of course.
it's an important piece of business for us, that piece. And with the tech side with Noki, there's a lot of patents there, and we've had some people. It's been flattering. Some people have really copied a lot of what we've done, in my opinion, and some of their products look a lot like ours. And but
Yeah.
we've continued to iterate there with the only today Noki's the only wired solution in the market. Everybody else has a battery or NFC solution. We have that
Yeah.
as well, but
Yeah.
then we have a wired solution that takes it to a different level. So it's kind of fun to stay ahead of the competition on the tech side, and that's the part I
Yeah.
love that part personally, and enjoy that. But some of these other pieces are fun too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I imagine your R&D team has a lot of fun trying to figure out what's next and how to tweak this and all those kinds
Oh,
of things.
absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
We do some business that's really interesting that's outside of self storage for with our Noki products. Like securing tanker trucks that carry fuel in Africa.
Huh.
And they secure it with a Noki lock, which looks like a padlock, but it has no key on the bottom.
Right.
It's got a touch sensor for a Bluetooth connection, and
Uh-huh.
they use that because it's very difficult to tamper with. And if somebody does open it, it tells everybody who opened it,
Right.
and therefore they have less what they call shrinkage of the fuel moving from A to B to C. And so interesting,
Right.
tanker trucks. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, lots of things need to be secured, right? So
Yeah,
that makes sense.
it
Interesting.
does. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
You know,
Different
and
application. Yeah.
it would have been fun to be a fly on the room when the first Janus person walked into a meeting and said, "So, do you think we can do this?" and
Oh
started
yeah,
talking about it, and everyone was going, "Wait a minute, it sounds like we can, but wait, what are we talking about?" So those kind of
exactly.
things have to be fun.
They are fun. They are fun.
Uh-huh.
Some of those projects that we've done that are non-storage related have been really fun to do because they solved the problem. Like cell towers.
Yeah.
The cell tower people said we get a report that says Mr. Maintenance went there, but do we really know they climbed up that mountain and went to that cell tower?
Uh-huh.
We don't really know. But when they put a Noki lock there,
Yeah.
they have to unlock that, and that lock tattletales on them and says, "You unlocked me today at 12:48 p.m.
Yeah.
on July 30th." Then they have a higher level of verification that that person actually went and did that service work.
Yeah.
That's been a kind of a neat one too.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you need the verification of those things. I mean, that's really what these systems are all about in self-storage, right? Is who's on my property? Are they supposed to be there? And are they there too long or too little? Or
You
all
nailed
that
it.
verification is important, isn't it?
Yeah, you nailed it. That's exactly what we're doing. And then as you know, the data becomes so important.
Yeah,
Understanding the traffic patterns, how often, how long do they stay, all of these things. And all of a sudden, we're getting so sophisticated with our revenue management systems, and they're feeding
yeah,
that data in and going, okay, how do we, treat this person differently than this person, and
right.
so forth. And some of that data becomes really important.
That is pretty fascinating. And as storage operators get more and more sophisticated, I'm sure they bring you guys all sorts of interesting questions sometimes about can we do this or can we not do that? And
Yeah, there's
yeah,
lots of things. We've had requests recently to solve um, move outs that where they don't self-identify. They move out on the 21st of the month and they paid
yeah.
through the end of the month and they just move out. They don't tell
They
anybody.
just disappear, right? Yep.
Right. And can Noki help identify that the move outs actually happen based upon the type of activity we see
Yeah.
and what we saw before and why and when it changed. And we're working with some customers today on creating an identification for early move out. And
Yeah.
then they can, oh, you did move out, therefore we can rent the unit for another 9 days and kind of double dip for part of the
Yeah.
month,
Yeah.
whatever that time frame looks like. And so that some operators are like, yeah, we really need to know that because we don't always get told.
Right. And what we used to do, right, is we used to walk the property every day to try and catch those extra 9 days of revenue. But the effort involved in that.
Yeah.
And the trying to track somebody down when the unit's empty or the lock's off or whatever. And
Yep.
with the Noki, the data's there. You can see it. So, it's
Exactly.
it's saved us a lot of trouble for sure.
Yeah. So we're always, yeah, your question is a great one. We're always trying to solve for something.
Yeah.
What is the next item that needs to be solved in our industry? And, it's been exciting. You and I have been around a little while. I remember coming into this industry when I did the big, everybody was talking about the yellow pages and, I need a
Yes.
double
Yes.
trunk or double column trunk and paying this much for it. And that's why we had 1A, 2A, 3A, 5A, and all these things. And, we're well past that point now, but
Oh yeah.
it's been an evolution and it's going to continue to evolve. There's just no doubt about it.
No, I remember the first couple times we talked, you were a little baffled. You're like, "Wow, I come from a tech space, and I'm not sure I'm on the right planet, but maybe I am."
I
And
did
and
have
I think you were. So
those early day feelings were like, wow. And but yeah, it's been fun to watch the evolution of the industry, and it's still an exciting place to be. It's still a really good business, and we still got good new content that's coming out all the time for different
yes,
purposes, solving different issues in software and technology and websites. And now with the advent of AI, it's just going to do another leap.
oh yeah, and I can't wait to see when the dust starts settling and all the early stuff that we decide was nonsense is gone, and all the developed stuff that we decide is really good is standard practice. It's going to be quite a change.
It is. I think AI is going to accelerate a lot of things in self storage, and I think somewhat drive some costs out of self storage, particularly at this I'll call it a little tougher period of time that
Yeah,
we're in with rates have been tougher, occupancy has been harder,
yeah,
and I think AI can help drive some NOI for people. And so we're working on some AI initiatives. We've got a couple in place already that are active, and we're seeing just a lot of AI players. Even just recently at one of the events I attended, there was a panel that had three different AI vendors,
yeah,
four different AI vendors, all talking about their vision for what AI is going to do in our industry. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
yeah. Fascinating. Yeah, it's fun to be a part of all that, and it's fun to see how Janus manages its way through all that too. So really pretty
Absolutely.
interesting times, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I really appreciate you taking some time and talking a little bit more about what you do and what's going on in the industry. And of course, it's always great to have you with us wherever we are in Hawaii. So thank you, John.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks, Tron. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.